Good afternoon. Good evening, I guess, everybody. Welcome, welcome everyone to Big Mike Talks, where today I'm going to give my review for WWE SmackDown. No Collision today. That was a part of the 4-hour block of AEW this week. Thankfully, that's kind of changing it up. So, yeah, it's just going to be SmackDown for today. I hope you buckle in, because it's honestly a very interesting one. So, let's get to it. First off, of course, we have Money in the Bank highlights, because why not? Then we get a John Cena promo, but before that, we get the ring announcer doing his usual multiple-time world champion, greatest in the world, etc., etc., to announce John Cena. So Cena himself starts off calling the wrestling Mount Rushmore is John Cena, John Cena, John Cena, and of course in that fourth spot, John Cena. Yes, there have been greats, but no one in the past, present, or future is comparable to me. It's because I'm smarter than all of you, and all of you want to be me. And if you're watching at home or in the arena, I'm 1,000 steps ahead of you. And I announced my retirement so early, so I had 6 months to scout out my potential opponents. I played everyone, and you all took the bait. I formed that alliance with Paul so I can get him out of the way, and now we see CM Punk. I got him backed into a corner, so now, if Punk wants to have this, he has to admit he's a hypocrite, and Seth doesn't want to cash in on me. I'm the greatest of all time for a reason, and that puts the math in my favor. I was kind of hoping he'd do Steiner math a little, but whatever. I've cracked every code. You won't realize how good I am until 3 years after I've been gone. Oh, Jesus. And the man says, no one is worthy enough to beat me. Then comes Cody Rhodes, which, that was a big surprise. Surprised we're setting this potential match up so early. So Cody gets on the microphone, says, what did you say? You're so smart. This guy is a clear genius. Everything has come to fruit. You've predicted it has come to fruition, and it's been a 25-year master plan. But you know what you didn't account for? Why didn't you include me? Include your loss to me at Money in the Bank. I'm clearly not part of your plan, but you're part of mine. And where does that leave us? But before you can get anything out comes Randy Orton, and he says, everyone has a pulse, saw I had you beat last time we faced off, and I was about to remove your head from your shoulders until someone saved you. And no matter who I have to go through, I'll get to 15 title reigns. And Cody, I love you like a brother, but I'd put you down just to get to him, and I won't hesitate to do so. So, Randy Orton kind of finishes there. Out comes LA Knight, which is very, very interesting. So Knight stands at the top of the ramp. He has a microphone, says, all week, I've heard everyone say, we want LA Knight, and you don't want me down there. And looking at the WWE establishment here in the ring, And while you have a great plan, it didn't include me. With King of the Ring right around the corner, I got a shot at you to take what's mine. So then Cena just kind of bows out. He's like, he drops the microphone. He's like, there you go. Walks out of the ring, turns around, showing his WWE title. Then out from backstage area, Ron Killings attacks Cena on the ramp with security separating them. Then this is our first commercial of the evening. We come back, we see, but not hear, Nick Aldis and Cena arguing back and forth, including Cena turning his cap around like he's, going back to the Dr. Thugonomics gimmick, which that visual is hilarious to me. We'll see where this goes. Obviously, we got King of the Ring coming now. We got Cena and Punk coming there, too. It's going to be interesting to see where we leave off. So, first things first, we got the first of 4 King of the Ring qualifying match. Well, not qualifying matches, but first round matches. So we got LA Knight taking on Randy Orton, taking on Carmelo Hayes, taking on Aleister Black. Now, Knight and Randy Orton were already out there, so they didn't get their entrances. Hayes and Black did, and this... Honestly, this was kind of a cluster, you-know-what? But it felt right, like they blocked each other's finishers at multiple times. But near the end, here's where it got interesting. Carmelo Hayes was up top, goes for the nothing but net on LA Knight, who's prone on the ground. Randy Orton catches him, hits an RKO, and Hayes lands on LA Knight. Randy Orton goes for the pin and picks up the win. Yeah, I haven't seen a RKO from out of nowhere in a while, so that was pretty hype. I'm a little disappointed we didn't see Carmelo Hayes get this position, but I think that's okay. I think Orton definitely has more of a story to it. Then we get this weird Jacob Fatu thing backstage. Like, it was hyping up his promo in the ring, which we're going to see in a little bit. And, then we go to that. Jacob Fatu's middle of the ring, and he says, I'm going to keep it 100. Just because you're family doesn't mean you can go behind their backs and sneak them and take all the credit for the hard work. Solo says, I'd be nothing if it wasn't for him. But I'm here to remind Solo, you don't get in where you don't fit in. And Jacob, right now, is all gas and no brakes. At that point, Solo and JC Mateo appear on the big screen, where Solo says, at Money in the Bank, you had the opportunity to make the biggest mistake of your life. When I first saw you, I saved you. I made you the star you are. And next week, I'll be in the ring with open arms. And I need to hear those 4 words from you that I love so much. I love you, Solo. And always remember, I brought you into this world, and I will take you out of it. Oh, okay, that was pretty cool. That was definitely a really good promo from Solo. I'm not 100% sure what he has planned, but if we get Tama Tonga Tangaloa back to 100% or near 100%, I could see like a gang style beating on Jacob Fatu next week. So next we see Alba Fire and Piper Niven of the Secret Service. They walk into Nick Aldis' office asking, oh, where's Green? Where's Green? We need her. She's up next. And Aldis says, I haven't seen her all day. She's clearly not here. Alba Fire then turns the phone around to Aldis and the crowd. There's Chelsea Green sipping on whatever adult beverage she has in a hot tub. And Aldis is like, where are you? You gotta be here. You got your match. So Green is like, oh, I'm clearly not there. Would it be fine if we postponed the match till next week? So Nick Aldis kind of scoffs at her, says, look, I'm not postponing anything. So I think instead, Alba Fire will fill your role for tonight. So Fire's like, oh, a little taken aback. Really? Aldis then points to her and says, go get ready. Your match is starting soon. Actually, it's not. It's starting a little later. So then we see them leave. Zelina Vega then walks in. Pretty much says, I need Julia in a match soon. Now. Nick Aldis then says, well, she's not here tonight. And then Vega with a very long-winded promo, which honestly got me hyped. Where she pretty much says, I punched harder, I got better. One little sneak attack doesn't scare me. I'm going to confront her next week. So, are we having a match between them, or are we having a promo? I'm not 100% sure. But either way, I think it could be fun. Next up, we got our next first round matchup of the Queen of the Ring tournament. So we got Jade Cargill, Nia Jax, Michin, and Piper Niven all in the same match. And this, honestly, was a bit of a hoot. Like, you got Michin fighting off all three of these bigger women. At some point, we see Nia Jax and Piper Niven turn to each other and like, let's do it. And they just start destroying Michin and Jade. Eventually, Nia does turn on Piper Niven, but Niven fights back. You had Nia hit the Annihilator on Michin, but Piper then throws her into the ring post and through the barrier on the outside, which was nuts. She hits her Piper Bomb, which, I don't know, that looked more like a Yokozuna sit down. But then Jade Cargill snuck back in, hit Jaded on Piper Niven, which that looked awesome, to win and move on to the next round. So, yeah, definitely a very fun match. I do wish it was given a little bit more time to develop, but overall I had a good time with it. Then we get another preview of Cody Rhodes' podcast. This time guest is Damian Priest, which I think we'll see an interaction between those two soon. Then we get a very interesting Naomi in-ring promo, which this heel Naomi is great. I don't care what you say. So she gets in the ring, gets a mic, says, some of you look real surprised / stupid that I'm holding this. I don't know why. I took what I deserved, and now I'm Miss Money in the Bank. And the entire time, I was trying to beat Nia. Who was there to stop me? It was then Money in the Bank winner Tiffany Stratton. And I've been giving comments like, I've been too nice. Naomi just... But now I just let it happen. I'm here for payback, and I'm taking that title. So this brings out Women's WWE Champion Tiffany Stratton. Gets in the ring, immediately grabs a microphone, says, you talk a big game, why don't you just do it? Why don't you just cash in right now. Otherwise, you're seen as just the same old Naomi. All talk and no action. So please, prove us wrong. So Naomi kind of thinks about it for a second, gets back on the mic and says, "Do I look stupid to you? I'm going to cash in when you least expect it. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy making your life a living hell." Naomi then bails out of the ring. She's about less than halfway up the ramp when Nia Jax attacks Tiffany Stratton from behind. Tiffany fights back for a minute, but Naomi distracts Tiffany. Nia with a big old clothesline and an annihilator. Then Naomi pops up on the ring apron. It looks like she's about to cash in. But Nia turns right around to her. They lock eyes. And Nia's like, "Not right now." So Naomi gets back down off the apron and walks off. Well, yeah, definitely some good developments in the women's division over here on SmackDown. And then we go to this weird thing as we get pretty much all the SmackDown tag teams besides Legado del Fantasma, and then someone else is also missing. And they're talking about who's taking on the Wyatt Six, with DIY saying it would be a huge opportunity for Fraxium or the Profits. Then the Guns step up saying, "Look, we'll take on the Wyatt Six tonight. One of the veterans of the division will do it." Which leads us right into this next matchup. It's the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, taking on the Wyatt Six. Now, which members of the Six? It's Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, which I honestly thought they'd be the team. So, I'll admit this start was a little bit awkward. Actually, the Wyatt Six pretty much just rushed the ring. They brawl with the Guns for a little bit. But eventually the Guns do take control back, including hitting their interesting combination move. The atomic drop kicks thing. They attempt Skull and Bones, but Joe Gacy on the outside break it up. Wyatt Six with a high-low. And then you see Dexter Lumis, who's on the top rope, look over to Uncle Howdy sitting in Wyatt's rocking chair, going, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then Lumis with an impressive top rope leg drop to pick up the win for his team. That was a lot of fun. That was a great match. I was hoping it would go on a little bit longer, but I'm not really seeing the end game for this. Is this going to be a mass multi-man? Are we going to see a survive? Is this going to be like the Survivor Series match? I'm not really sure what the end game here is, but I'm going to say this: I am glad the SmackDown Tag Division has some story going on. And it's great. So next we see John Cena. He's seething in the back. And he runs into Jimmy Uso, who actually did save Ron the Truth Killings a few weeks, like the week he got released, which is interesting. So Cena says, "Have you seen R-Truth?" Jimmy says no. Cena then asks, "Have you seen Ron Killings?" Jimmy says, "No, I haven't seen either of them. And even if I have, I wouldn't tell you." So Cena then says, "Let him know. If you do see him, let him know I'm heading out to the ring and tell him to meet me there." So Cena makes pretty much a beeline to the ring. He doesn't do any of his theatrics. He just gets in the ring, grabs a microphone, says, "Shut your mouths," with everyone chanting, "We want truth. We want truth." So Cena continues, "The level of disrespect I can tolerate. There's only so much of a level of disrespect I can tolerate. Truth, you crossed the line." Hey, there's a reference. If you don't know, Ron Killings was pretty dang big in TNA, and their tagline was "Crossing the Line." So I think that's a little reference to R-Truth's time in TNA. So Cena continues. The time for talk is over, and it's time to fight. So, little beat happens. Then we hear CM Punk's music hit. Now, honestly, I thought this was going to be a distraction where we see Truth come from behind Cena and attack him. No, instead, it's just straight up CM Punk. I'm like, oh, that's a nice little surprise. I like that. So, Punk gets in the ring, says, "Am I hearing right? Something about disrespect? These people are tired of being disrespected by you, and I have yet to reach the levels of disrespect here, so buckle in. We've all given you a chance, and a lot of people say I have too much empathy these days. I'm looking for Alan? What the heck is that?" When talking to Vader. Anakin. Okay, that makes sense. Anakin, like Star Wars reference. Punk then continues, "I want you to let them celebrate you. Give them a happy ending." Cena then thinks for a minute, brings the mic back up to his lips, says, "Why would I waste my time? These people don't matter. This place doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is this, the WWE title." So Punk kind of smirks for a minute, says, "Okay, CM Punk and Lexington gave you a way out, and your way now is the CM Punk way. I'm about to get real, and here's the truth." Small truth chant going on. Punk continues, "There's an old saying I've always loved. Tell a strong man a lie and he cries. Tell a weak man the truth and it offends him." Dang! Punk continues, "You can't beat me. At my best, you never could. I'm going to save pro wrestling from you. And this unwavering confidence brought me to the top when people like you said I didn't have it. And now you're dressing like a toddler who struck out at T-ball," which I'll admit, that's a great little insult. Then Punk kind of pauses, says, "Oh, listen to me. I'm sounding like you from a few years ago. And you sound like CM Punk." "When I won the title, you're now just trying to follow in my footsteps. You're not going to stop me." And here's Punk to make Cena's retirement tour watchable. Dang. "And if I gotta follow you to hell to beat you, so be it. And while, yes, you are the GOAT, so am I. And you're the GOAT I'll sacrifice to the gods of wrestling to beat. And you put yourself on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling 4 times. I see through you, Cena. I always have, and that's the truth. So Punk gets out of the ring. He kind of goes to the kind of start of where the ramp is. And then Ron Killings attacks Cena from behind again. Locks in the STFU, which I am so happy Truth is still doing CM Punk's moveset. CM Punk's John Cena's moveset. It just looks awesome. Officials then pull Killings off of Cena. Punk then says something else on the microphone, but I didn't quite catch what he said. So, yeah, I'm going to say this. I'm way more hyped for CM Punk versus Cena than I've been for, well, let's face it, anything that Cena's done so far. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. So next we got an interview with Alexa Bliss. They are in gorilla position, which is, honestly, I kind of like that better for interviews. Makes it kind of feel like, between innings of a baseball game or right before halftime during a basketball game. Makes it feel a little bit more real. Anyway, so Bliss says, Byron, I've won Money in the Bank before. I'm not rattled up about losing this time. But now I'm getting one step closer to the Queen of the Ring. And then Charlotte Flair walks up, says, there's only room for one queen in this division. Woo! So, then Charlotte makes her entrance. It is almost immediately interrupted by Alexa Bliss's entrance, which I love that level of disrespect. That's just great. So then we cut to commercial. Come back, we see R-Truth kind of talking to himself, swaying a little bit. So then Nick Aldis comes in. He says, you already did this to Cena. What are you doing now? Killings then turns to Aldis, says, give me a match with Cena next week. Firm, blunt, to the point. Aldis then says, you want it? You got it. And walks off. Truth then says something else, but I didn't really catch it. But getting a rematch between Killings and Cena? I'm good with that. Hell yeah. So next up, we got our last first round match. Actually, no, there's one more on Raw tonight. So we got the last first round Queen of the Ring match for SmackDown. We got Charlotte Flair taking on Alexa Bliss, taking on who should have been Chelsea Green, but she no-showed. Instead, it's Alba Fire and Candice LeRae, who I haven't seen wrestle in like months. So this is a treat. So they all have a nice little back and forth. It's definitely way different than the kind of big hoss fight we got earlier on in the evening. And that's kind of what I really like about these King of the Ring matches. They all kind of feel unique and interesting. A lot of breakups during the match, including a Twisted Bliss from Alexa Bliss. Haven't seen that one in a while. Only gets a 2 count. Charlotte Flair with a spear. Goes for the figure 8. That gets blocked. Alba Fire attempts an unpretty her, but that gets blocked by Charlotte. Charlotte with a big boot. Locks in the figure 8 on Alba Fire. But then Alexa Bliss goes right up to Candice LeRae, hits an Abigail DDT, ref counts 1, 2, 3. So you're a winner by the skin of her teeth, Alexa Bliss. And honestly, that is awesome. I love Alexa Bliss. I don't know if she's my pick for Queen of the Ring, but I think she's going to have a prominent spot. And then post-match, we have Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair having a little stare-off. Oh, a nice little feud between these two would be awesome. I'm in. So next we see Cody Rhodes. He's in the back. He's ready for his match. And he passes by CM Punk. So Cody tells Punk, we can't run away from each other forever. Punk says, I know. Cody then says, after Night of Champions, we'll see who's chasing who. And then Punk says, you're on. A CM Punk Cody Rhodes rivalry. Absolutely. I'm in. So next we get a rundown of next week's SmackDown. And then we get to our main event. The last SmackDown first round matchup for the King of the Ring. So we get Cody Rhodes taking on Damian Priest, taking on Andrade, taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. And to start, everyone pretty much turns to Nakamura, but he bails out. Then Andrade just straight up missiles him. Like, dived to the outside and just looked like he took his head off. A lot of really good back and forth, including a little good vibrations from Shinsuke Nakamura. That's where he puts his boot on the throat of his opponent and just shakes. That's crazy. One point we see Andrade block the old school attempt from Damian Priest. Nakamura with a takedown armbar, which that was impressive. It gets broken up by Cody. Cody then brings out a table. And, of course, we get the new sponsorships for Slim Jim, which I absolutely hate. Priest attempts a Razor's Edge, but that gets blocked. But then Priest with a flatliner. That was nutty. Cody Rhodes with an impressive moonsault. Then he gets into his regular routine. Clotheslines, big old power slam. Hits a disaster kick. Goes for the crossroads on Nakamura. But Nakamura blocks it into a Kinshasa for a 2. Priest with a roll-up into the turnbuckle. So kind of a buckle bomb. But in the middle instead of on top. Which that looked gnarly. Priest attempts the South of Heaven. That gets blocked. Andrade with his big elbow hits the message. Only gets a 2 count. Cody Rhodes with a big Cody cutter. Priest attempts a Razor's Edge. That gets blocked. Cody with a double Cody cutter. And then a crossroads. But then Nakamura locks in a sleeper. That gets reversed by Cody, who hits... Actually, Cody hits a reverse DDT, Nakamura attempts a reverse DDT. That gets blocked. Cody with the crossroads to move on in the tournament. Definitely a very entertaining finish. I really wouldn't have picked Cody Rhodes to move on. But I think the plan for SummerSlam is Cody versus Cena. Maybe with Cody regaining the title. I'm not sure. And honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. I kind of miss the days where I've been unsure about what's going on next in wrestling. So, having this be kind of more of a question mark, I don't mind it. So, yeah, that was SmackDown. definitely some entertaining wrestling and some, well, some funny enough skits. Overall, I was very entertained. Do you really need to watch all 3 hours of this? I don't think so. But if you really, really want to, I could definitely say that you could. So, yeah, that is all from me. I hope you all enjoyed. Coming up tonight is Monday Night Raw. I am really hyped for this one. And, yeah, going to be reviewing that on Friday, along with NWA Power and AEW Grand Slam, where they're going to be from Arena, Mexico, which I cannot wait for that. And, yeah, overall, should be another fun week of wrestling. Until next time, happy wrestling, everybody. Peace.